Here with us now is Rodney Bryant, Vice President of the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives. Rodney retired last year as the Chief of Atlanta's Police Department. Thank you so much for joining us. First, I just want to get your reaction when you saw the video. What was going through your mind? I mean, there are people who have yet to watch it because they know how disturbing that it truly is.
Well, good morning, and thank you for having me. First of all, my condolences go out to the Nichols family. No family should have to go through anything of this nature as it relates to losing a family member. My first reaction was clearly, I was horrified by the actions that I saw. And then I became saddened because this was at the hands of our police officers, the individuals who we hire to protect us. And then I became angry at seeing the actions and no one stepping up to intervene to do anything to stop this atrocity from happening.
Yeah, so let's talk about the elite unit that was involved in this incident, the now disbanded Memphis Scorpion unit, which has faced criticism in the past, as have other elite police units. When you were chief in Atlanta, you had the Titan unit, which was a street crime police unit. Why do departments need these groups, and what are your thoughts on Memphis quickly disbanding it?
So one of the things you clearly understand is throughout our nations, we are addressing a lot of violent crimes throughout the country, and primarily in our major cities. And so what your typical police officer does is handle 911 calls. So they're answering the basic first responders to incidents happening throughout the city. These teams generally are equipped and have the time to address violent crimes in specific areas, getting to know individuals that are causing problems in our community. And so with that, however, comes a lot of training and oversight. And when both are lacking, one or either are lacking, you have incidents such as these.
So speaking of training and oversight, over the weekend, several former police chiefs and officers chimed in saying that training and new practices need to be put in place. But after so many incidents similar to this, George Floyd, for example, in most recent memory, I think the country's at a point now where the frustration is bubbling over, where it's like, okay, we can talk about training, we can talk about de-escalation tactics and all these techniques, but this continues to happen and it gets more and more egregious. What do you think that even looks like? Have we gotten to a point where those will even work and even matter?
Well, I think training does matter. And one of the things that we clearly see here is a cultural issue within our police departments. And it takes time to root that culture, that type of action out of your police department. I think what we saw in Memphis, the chief did a phenomenal job by acting right away, addressing the fact that this unit had issues and disbanding it.
So when you talk about the cultural aspect of that and you say that it's so much harder to root that out, how do you even start to chop that head off of that snake? Because it's not as simple, as you said, as just the training tactics and techniques. This is cultural. There is no test that you can take or give, right?
Right. I think that with the training, because you can establish policies and training and the actions that we are seeing here, when people understand that there are consequences that come with their actions, people tend to change how they respond. And you will have evidence of individuals such as what we're seeing here in Memphis, where they have to be prosecuted. When people are violating our policies and our procedures and our laws, our administrators and our policymakers have to take quick and swift action. And when you start to see that within our police departments, that culture will change shortly thereafter.
So let's talk a little bit about your own experience here in Atlanta. You were police chief around the same time when Rayshard Brooks was shot and killed by an Atlanta officer in 2020. And your experience, and just your experience over your career, how does a police department and a city move forward and regain trust in the community after horrible incidents like this happen, and they seem to keep happening over and over again? Like Alex was saying, even when you think one is going to be the catalyst to reform, they keep happening again. How do you regain that trust and make people feel safe in the community?
It's a lot of work. a lot of work with your police department and your community. It is a continuous rebuilding and reestablishment of trust. It doesn't happen overnight. Clearly, as you see with one incident, it will set you back tremendously. But the community, the police department and community have to continue to work every day to make sure that we are continue to build our trust. Police departments have to continue to understand that transparency and for the community to understand what is going on is key to building that trust. And so I think that it's upon the chiefs of police and lawmakers to make sure that we're doing everything in our power, that we are holding people accountable, and that we are letting the community see exactly what we're doing.
A lot of work to be done, certainly. Rodney Bryant, thank you so much for your time and your perspective. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.